Welcome to Brianna and Tylia's economics video, 6th period. Alright, we're going to start off by Brianna Wilson telling you about some interesting things about Wayne County. Brianna?
Okay. In Wayne County, numerous towns have decided to make the switch to solar energy as a power source, the most recent being Walworth. They did this because of an increase in their electric bill.
Did you know that Walworth kids can go to Gananda, or Ontario, or Macedon? No, just kidding. Not Macedon. Proceed.
Anyways, this project is under a 25-year purchase power agreement, and under this agreement, the developer takes care of the installation cost of the panels, and the town pays the developer for the energy. So it is not the town who owns the panels, it is the developer. This makes it so that the developer is responsible for maintaining the panels and any costs that come along with repairs that are needed. 80% of Walworth's electrical needs will be handled because of these solar panels. And because all of the solar energy comes from the sun, it is natural and very abundant. And because it is very abundant, it is free.
So is that all for that? This little article right here. It's about our own hometown, Lagner Farms. Jake Lagner had his aha moment 4 years ago when a friend gave him a bottle of hard cider that was completely different from any other he has ever tried. Made by Farnham Hill Ciders, the cider was lightly colored and dry in flavor. It was like a dry wine, but it had a complex cider flavor. Let's get it special. Mr. Lagner's had a long-time interest in fermentation. He used to make wine and beer on a home scale to launch Embark Craft Cider Works in June. Together, his wife, Mitzi, his parents, Mark and Diana, and cider maker Chris Gowan. The cider is made at Lagner Farms in Williamson, Wayne County, New York, where 36-year-old Jake Lagner is the 5th generation to work at the farm. That's a lot of generations. Right, Brianna?
Sure is, Tylia.
Yeah. A combination tasting room and a farm-to-table cafe was also added to complement the cider. Jake Lagner started experimenting with making small batches of cider using some older varieties on the 105-year-old farm. The next step was experimenting with larger volumes of cider 2 years ago, taking a class on commercial cider production at Cornell. Cornell is a great school, right, Brianna?
Sure.
All right, Brianna?
Sure is, Tylia.
All right. The results were promising enough that the farm started planting cider-specific apples, varieties, crab apples, American heirlooms, French and English bittersweet, and bitter sharp apples. That's a pretty sharp statement, right, Brianna?
Sure is, Tylia.
Yes, it is. Okay. From there, Lagner, together with Gowan, tested 50 to 60 varieties of apples and different yeasts, doing various blends to get the sugars, acids, and taters to their liking. Just a lot of Mr. Cottrell's dying in the background.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun, said Jake. That gave us an appreciation for what each apple brings to the table and what yeast strain works the best. He was farming full-time while working on these products, so they did a bulk of cider testing and production during winters. It takes a while to make cider we like 3 to 6 months, says Jake. That's a long time, right, Brianna?
Sure is, Tylia.
The first commercial batch was 300 gallons. A bushel of apples, 42 pounds, or roughly 125 apples, would produce 3 gallons of cider. That's not a lot of cider per apple.
Sure isn't, Tylia.
Okay. That means the first batch took 100 bushels, equal to 4,200 pounds, or 12,500 apples. That's a lot of apples.
Sure is, Tylia.
I just read that off the paper. I wasn't even trying to be smart. I just read it off the paper. Okay. They grow about 100,000 bushels a year, and it's a small amount of what they're doing. Okay. Well, that's pretty much the end of the article talking about it. But basically, the Fisher's Farm did a very similar thing with this apple vodka. Now, Lagner's is making hard apple cider. I think it's very beneficial to the Williamson community because it's going to draw in more revenue, and we're going to get on the map. And maybe get some more tourism from rich people, and they'll give us money for our school. And they'll have their kids go here, and we'll have rich friends, and they'll buy us things. Like
Take them on
Crocs.
vacation.
like rainbow Crocs, and they'll take us to like Mulan because they're rich, and that will benefit the children of the community because then they'll be like, wow, it's really great to be rich, and it'll make them want to work harder. And then once they're rich, they'll come back and they'll do the same thing with their kids. But most importantly, it'll draw more revenue to the town of Williamson, possibly creating more jobs, more economic prosperity, and Crocs. Bam. Done. Video 2?
What? You dying?
No, I mean those girls, they just walked in.
Well, she's gonna edit this stuff out anyway.
Alright.
What if I didn't?
Just blocked our camera, okay. Now that Cottrell's gone, we can get down to real business. I'm just kidding. Okay. So the next article is about a magical little place called Ginay. Ginay provides most of the power around here because we don't have water power.
We don't?
We don't, because you see a waterfall on Lake Ontario? No, then shut your mouth. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I'm so sorry. You get up and leave. Let's walk out. Okay, back to business. Okay. So, if many didn't, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Ginay is struggling right now financially. Okay. The Rochester and Gas and Electric Corporation and the owner of Ginay Nuclear Facility have proposed a revised to levy extra surcharges on the RG&E consumers to prop up the financially struggling power plant. The new deal would cost a bit less than the previous iteration. So on average, a typical resident pays about 2-3% more per month on their electric bill, or $2.20. RG&E spokesman Richard Meyer said Thursday. But commercial and industrial consumers will pay 1.5 to 9.1% more, depending on their service usage and class. The surcharges will be in place for 2 years. The company will apply customer credits, money that owes customers for past overcharges, to hold down the size of surcharge payments. Under the original proposed deal, it was saying they would have to pay 4.2% for each month for 3.5 years, and then a large industrial business had to pay 6%. Because approval of an agreement has taken longer than the originally anticipated, the Commission has already approved temporary surcharges that RG&E electric customers began paying less month. The surcharges amount to be about $1.85 per month for a typical residential customer. And it's supposed to be in effect for about a year and a half. Ginay is located in town Ontario, Wayne County, about 17 miles from downtown Rochester, and it's the fourth oldest commercial reactor in the operation in the United States, and one of the oldest in the world. Go Ginay. It generates enough power to satisfy the needs for about 400,000 homes. It employs about 700 people and is likely the largest property taxpayer in Wayne County. Yes, so that's pretty much the end of that. Okay, please edit that out.
I will.
Okay.
Look at it.
I'm going to say, so this would affect Williamson because if Ginay got boosted up a little bit more, they have Shrek Crocs. Oh my! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But if Ginay they supported it a little bit more, excuse me, Dawson, please get out of our video. Thank you. Then possibly more jobs could be created for local families. Again, in the nuclear position, physicists make good books. Okay, but then possibly you could have cheaper electric bills. Causing us to spend money on other things, like that thing we learned in economics. You know, when people have more money, they tend to buy more expensive things, or they save money in some instances. But people will probably buy more expensive. They would raise their standard of living based off of the stuff with the Ginay, and so that is why Ginay would benefit the community. Yes. That's all I got, dude.
Mine was like nothing compared to that, so it's okay.
They have Shrek Crocs. I see Mr. Hollenbeck.
I don't know, me too. Should we watch it in the 30 minutes we have?
Yeah, why not?
It's a 9th edition.
Oh, that was really easy. I thought I was
Here with Ebony. How are you today?
Bill and Dante, thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good.
It's
Did you hear about the water main burst in Syracuse that cut off the service to a high school, forcing administrators to cancel class?
I did, but I don't know the reason why it happened. Do you?
Why, yes, my dear Ebony, I do. After the pipes were dug up, it was discovered that they were from the 40s. However, it is not just the age of the pipes causing this problem. Bad soil conditions and the freeze and thaw cycles of a winter in New York can damage the metal as well. They need to be replaced.
No wonder why Syracuse had nearly 400 water main breaks just this past year alone. Are the pipes going to be replaced?
Well, Syracuse is going to need as much as $725 million as a down payment to replace the water main, but the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency predicts that it will cost New York State $22 billion to fix them.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
You don't say. But we are getting some help from the state's Environmental Facilities Corporation, approving over $600 in loans, and lawmakers approving $200 million in new water funding.
That's great. How will our economy be?
Negatively, because of the high cost of having to replace the old water pipes, the state will need a lot of money and will probably end up going into debt. This will lead to higher taxes on the people.
Well, at least we'll get the costs out of the way now.
You're right, Ebony. Thanks
You're
for your
welcome.
time.
Wait, stop it.
Hi, it's Brianna here with Ebony. How are you today?
Bill and Dante, thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. Did you hear about the water main burst in Syracuse that cut off the service to a high school, forcing administrators to cancel class?
I did, but I don't know the reason why it happened. Do you?
Why, yes, my dear Ebony, I do. After the pipes were dug up, it was discovered that they were from the 40s. However, it is not just the age of the pipes causing this problem. Bad soil conditions and the freeze and thaw cycles of a winter in New York can damage the metal as well. They need to be replaced.
No wonder why Syracuse had nearly 400 water main breaks just this past year alone. Are the pipes going to be replaced?
Well, Syracuse is going to need as much as $725 million as a down payment to replace the water main, but the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency predicts that it will cost New York State $22 billion to fix them.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
You don't say. But we are getting some help from the state's Environmental Facilities Corporation, approving over $600 in loans, and lawmakers approving $200 million in new water funding.
That's great. How will our economy be?
Negatively, because of the high cost of having to replace the old water pipes, the state will need a lot of money and will probably end up going into debt. This will lead to higher taxes on the people.
Well, at least we'll get the costs out of the way now.
You're right, Ebony. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
your time.
Wait, stop it.